I recently did a review on the Baofeng UV-5R Mini ham radio. As with a lot of radios, GMRS versions are usually not far behind. This is especially true when the original release is popular and makes a splash in the market. That's the case with the UV-5R Mini G for GMRS users. If you looked at my UV-5R Mini review, you'll be happy to know that the two radios are virtually identical, other than the transmitting being limited in the GMRS version to those bands required by the FCC rules. For those who haven't seen that video, I'll do a comprehensive review here to help you decide whether this little radio is something you'd like to add to your radio collection. The kit we'll be looking at today is the 2-radio pack with 2 of each of the single radio pack radios and accessories. As you'll see in a minute, I was surprised to see a change in the packaging, where things were tightly packed in a small box instead of the larger flat boxes you may be used to seeing with other Baofeng radios. A 2-radio pack at the Radioddity website is the same price as the ham version. As I record this, the radio is still in pre-release, so prices can change. Speaking of Radioddity, they provided the radios for this review. They don't see the review before I post it. I appreciate the trust Radioddity has that I'll do a fair job demonstrating the products they occasionally offer me. Those reviews aren't always glowing, but they're always fair. Let's start with a couple of the radio's key features. The obvious feature is the Mini G's small size. The ham version comes in several colors, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Mini G in other colors in follow-on deliveries. The ones we'll be looking at today is a nice gray-on-black color scheme. One of the things Baofeng seems to be focused on is styling and colors. Many of their radios can be had in bright or subdued colors. The Mini also has Bluetooth programming for those who like to use a smartphone app. As with a couple of their other recent radios, the radios connect to the Walkie-Talkie Tool app available on Google Play and, I assume, the iOS App Store. The QR codes on the manual direct you to the Play Store or App Store too, but to a different app. This app is called the OLA Radio. Like the Walkie-Talkie Tool app, the OLA Radio app wants you to set up an account. I found the Walkie-Talkie Tool app will let you access the radio programming but not the social features without an account. Now, I realize that this can be a turnoff to some. Kid Radio did the same thing when OD Master first rolled out. They took a lot of heat for that and ultimately allowed non-registered users to program their radios using OD Master. The good news is that Walkie-Talkie Tool is still on the Play Store for those who don't want to share data. On the other hand, since I already have a Baofeng account, registering for the OLA app was a bit annoying, but okay. The app itself is similar to Walkie-Talkie Tool with some UI improvements. We'll look at both apps later. The last item in this short list is power output. In the GMRS bands, I measured the output at 4.5 watts, so that's very good for a budget-class radio advertised as a 5-watt radio. I have some clips of those measurements coming up, so you can see for yourself. As we jump into the particulars, if you're finding this video helpful, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel with the notification bell on. There's also a join button and a thanks button where you can contribute to the channel. Don't forget to make use of the affiliate links and coupon code below if you're thinking about one of these radios. The coupon code is good for money off your purchase. As always, there are some rules and restrictions, but it's certainly worth a try. Now, let's take a look at what came in my 2-radio kit. So here's the box that the UV-5G Mini comes in, and this is a twin pack, and it's kind of a little bit of a different packing style for Baofeng. Both radios are in here, the antennas are in here, and then the accessories are just kind of laid in on the top. So it's kind of a small box, maybe saving some shipping space as opposed to the larger flat box. So let's take a look what we find inside. This is the user's manual. It's very typical of the Baofeng user's manuals. It's got the drawings and diagrams, labels for the various buttons, what the various menu items do. It suffers from one of the problems that many of the Baofeng user manuals have, and that it's really small print, so you have to pay attention and look close. But it's very comprehensive, and it'll give you all the information that you need to know. So that's the owner's manual. It comes with two USB-C charging cables. The radio charges with a USB-C on the bottom that we'll look at in a minute. So it's got a USB-A and a USB-C. In terms of security, it's got a strap, and this is what they seem to be going to now. So it's a long ribbon-like strap and then a little snap-off clip that you can put into the hole in the radio so you don't have the long strap with you all the time. It's got two of those, and it's got two belt clips, and this one snaps into the back as opposed to screw into the back, and so it's just loose in the box as it comes to you. Unlike the ham version of this radio dual pack that comes with two antennas, this one comes with one antenna, and it's a kind of stubby. It's in line with the size of the radio itself, and if you look on the bottom, it's a dual band antenna, and you get two of these as you have two radios. So here's our power off tour of the radio. We've got the screen here at the top. Oh, look at there. It's got a screen protector. We'll pull that guy off there. Looking good. Across the middle, it's got the VFO and memory button here, the AB button here, and then this sweep button that'll initiate a scan. The speaker is behind the buttons, and then you've got the menu up, down, and exit buttons right here, and then a full set of number buttons to include star and hashtag or pound key. Now these are labeled with letters, which means it will be able to go into the radio, and in certain menu items enter text. Otherwise, if we know what a menu item number is, we can use them for menu shortcuts as well. We'll look at that here in just a second. On this side, we've got two push-to-talk buttons, the A and the B. There's some programmability to these buttons, and then we've got a programmable side key right here. We look at the bottom. Here's the latch or the channel for that belt clip. Down here on the battery is the USB-C with a little charging indicator light. There are no tabs on this battery as it doesn't come with a charge cradle. And then across the top here is where you'd put that little tiny cord that comes with the strap that I just showed you. On the top there is a flashlight, and then the on-off switch, the receive and transmit LED indicator, and then a male and SMA connector here at the top that our antenna will screw into. And then on the other side, there's a little rubber flap that covers the K1 connector, and that's where we would put our programming cable, a shoulder mic if accessory or anything like that goes into this connector here. Now let's turn the radio on and do a quick power on tour. So we'll turn it on.
Channel mode.
Got the typical female voice there. And then the screen is pretty nice here. Let's go back to channel 1 up here. So I've done some programming on this. So I've got GMRS channel 1 in the, as it comes out of the box, those channels are there, but they're not named. So I went in and named them GMRS channel 1 for channel 1. You see up here at the top in the red box, it says channel 1. It's on high power. There's a RSSI indicator there at the bottom. There's a little indicator there that kind of looks like a Wi-Fi arc. And that's the wireless CPS that we'll take a look at here in a minute. You can turn that on and off in the menu. The circle with the D means that there's a dual watch, and then the battery indicator is on. So that's the, the key things that are here in the menu. Across the middle, it's got a VFO and memory key. So if we watch up here, the top one is a little brighter. This is kind of a gray color. This is bright white. So we change it to VFO. We're going to use VFO to program channels, and we can program channels across the VHF and UHF bands as receive-only channels. And then we can use GMRS frequencies in this programming to program GMRS channels that are kind of do-it-yourself with a particular repeater's name and CTCSS code and so forth. So we'll go back there. The AB switch switches from the upper to the lower. And then this button will turn on the short with the side key, blink and flash, a long press. We'll move into a search mode. We're going to exit that. Now, as we look here, we've got the menu and the up and down keys. We can change our channels by just going up and down, 1, 2, 3. We can type in the channel 015. Then it goes up to GMRS 15. And then if you go up higher, if you've got some do-it-yourself channels, see if I can get there, 031. And that's the Shaw Butte GMRS repeater here in Phoenix. And then I can, again, use up and down if I want to. And there are a couple of other open GMRS repeaters here in the area. And so the menu works like it does on most of these small radios. You press menu. Now the menu is segmented, and so we can do set up some scan parameters. We can set up a radio that's Vox and power and all of the things you're used to seeing, squelch level, power save. There are about 15 or 20 menu items there in that subdivision. We can go into program a channel, which allows us to program the channel without having to search through as many menu items. They're all grouped together. That's really pretty handy. Here's where we can turn on our wireless CPS, and then here the radio info gives us our hardware and firmware info along with the ANI number of the radio if you're doing any DTMF signaling. So we'll get back out of this and then back out of it one more time. And so that is pretty much it. You can see these light up. It's really a nice display. The side keys work here. The top one will transmit up here. You can see it flicked red there. The bottom one would transmit on the lower one. And then this has some programmability. And so this one looks like I've got it the same as that sweep key with the light coming on and off. You can set it to turn on the FM receiver, for example, if you prefer. So that's a quick power on tour of the radio. I mentioned earlier that the power output of the 5R Mini was very close to the advertised level. Here's that measurement. So let's take a quick look at the UV-5R Mini G's output power. I've got my MFJ 874 set on the 20 watt setting, and so that means we're going to be reading at the second arc from the bottom. This first test is in the lower GMRS channel, channel 2. So you can see there we've got about 4.4, 4.5 watts. Now let's jump to the upper section of the GMRS channels. This is GMRS channel 15. Again, right at 4.5 watts. And so now let's look up at the GMRS repeater channel. So this is GMRS channel 25. And again, right with the other ones at 4.5 watts. So that's the power output you can expect from the UV-5R Mini G. Here's an audio test to get a sense of what the radios sound like. Since I have two, I'm using the 5R Mini G for both transmit and receive.
Test, 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 test. Test 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. UV-5R Mini G. Test, 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 test. Test out.
The 5R Mini showed up in the Chirp-supported radios in the August 29th, 2025 update. I tried this with the UV-5R G Mini, and it worked just fine. Here's a couple of screenshots of the data I entered into the radio. With the ability to make use of the stock configurations such as MERS and Marine Band channels, Chirp makes programming the 5R Mini G a snap. While not supporting imports, the factory GPS is also pretty easy for basic programming. In some ways, programming the radio's menu items is easier with the factory CPS than with Chirp. As with Chirp, the 5R Mini CPS worked with the UV-5R Mini G too. The OLA radio programming app, as shown here, is also easy to use. So here is the smartphone app, the OLA radio device, and I press the device button down here to get here. You can see I've connected a couple of times. It's all there. The last one that connected is the one I've got going here, and you can see that it says connected. So I'm going to touch that, and I want to read and write the frequencies. Radio went to program, as you can see. And I'll cut out this time. So here you can see I've got the information in the app, and it took about a minute to go in there. Now, if I want to make changes, I want to press this blue modify. And so now I've got my channels here, and if I want to make a change to a channel, I press that little hamburger menu up in the corner, and then it gives me all the information about the channels that I can do. And here's where I change the names of all those channels, and so you can go through those next and so forth. I want to go back up here to channel settings, and if we go down here, you notice that I had like up to channel 34 probably, so we'll check on 34, and you can see, so we'll add that. And that is a repeater in the area. If I go to next, then I can add. And then, so I just need to remember to add the downlink frequency from the repeater, and then the uplink, which is going to be in the 467 range for a GMRS repeater. Give it a name, the appropriate CT, CSS, or in this case, DCS codes, and so forth. And so that is really pretty easy to do. And the app is really a good way to program, because you're normally not going to be programming in dozens or hundreds of channels into a GMRS radio. And if you are, you're using it as your emergency comms, then using the CPS is probably a better choice. We go over here to function, and we can set our squelch and timeout timer. If we want to do a channel display, we can get some choices. We'll just touch that. And we can go either channel frequency or channel name. And then I'm going to keep it on channel name. And then in the frequency mode, it's the stuff that you can, set up for band A and band B, where it kicks off when you select the VFO mode. Okay, so we've got all that done. And then if we're happy with that, we would save it. I didn't make any changes, so I'm not going to do that. And then to write it back to the radio, I just click write. It has an agreement. You've got to look at it for about 5 seconds and then press agree. And then you'll see that the radio moved back to programming, and it wrote it back to the radio. So again, we're not going to watch it for another minute reading. It's just know that that's how the app works, and it works pretty slick. The walkie-talkie tool app will also access the 5R Mini G. When you click the icon for frequency read-write, you can click cancel on the login prompt, but still access the radio through the app, at least as of this recording. If you're looking for one of these mini-size radios, or just a fan of Baofeng offerings, the UV-5R Mini G is certainly worth a look. Its large channel count, USB-C battery charging, dual PTTs, app programming, mini-size, and broad receive band coverage will fill most folks' needs for a basic analog FM radio. Its full feature set and low cost make it a great choice for a tag-along radio for everyday carry or for hikes and campouts. Leave a comment below and let me know what you really like or don't like about this little guy. I'd be interested to know. Join me over here for my GMRS radio playlist for more GMRS radio reviews. Again, please like the video and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel. Thanks for watching.